I will start this running, and then I explain what's happening. Don't worry if you can't see at the back, I'll talk through what's happening. So we set out to ingest 100 separate databases. Some are big, some are small, some have lots of rows, some have lots of columns. We wanted to ingest 100 databases from nothing into a data warehouse and do business transformation modeling, and we want to do it in under 5 minutes. So let me jump back to this. Okay, so we started with a completely empty system. What does that mean? My data warehouse at this point is completely empty. There are no tables, there are no views, there are no schemas. I have an empty data warehouse. The system I'm running this on started empty. The only thing it had on was our ingestion agent and the access details for a Git repository. So when I said run, the first thing it did, you may have seen it, the first thing it did was connect to the Git repository and check out the master branch. Everything it needs to know came out of that master branch. So everything it needs to know to run this entire end-to-end process came out of a Git repository, was managed as code. It's now going through the process, and it's running, it's doing 63 at the moment. It's going through the process of discovering 100 on-prem, it's actually private cloud, but the point is these are behind firewalls. These are not publicly available things. There's a lot of technologies out there that do things like this, but they require access from the public internet. For most enterprises, that's a security no-no. You have to have an agent inside the network that's talking on a private network, and then you can send the results back, that's fine, but you're going the right way through the firewall. So we're doing discovery, we're connecting, we're discovering what schemas they got, what tables they got, what columns they got, what data types they got, what foreign keys they got. We're building a complete model of those databases. We're transforming them into a standardized schema for our data lake and our data warehouse. We're then doing full table loads. Because this has started from scratch, I've got no historical data to rely on. So we are pulling everything from the source systems. We're following an ELT model, so we're doing extract, load, transform, but there is no such thing as a true ELT model. Certainly if you've got anything with PII or information subject to governance, there are certain things that you have to transform on the way out because they can't leave the network. So in the process here, we're doing minimum transforms, but we're doing things like masking credit card information, potentially hashing email addresses. We're doing the minimum set of transforms on that data. Then we're persisting it to our data lake. We're then hydrating from that data lake into a data warehouse. We're using Snowflake for the purposes of this. And then once that data is in there and ingested as raw data, it still looks very much like the source systems. So every source table, every source column will have a one-for-one replica in our ingestion layer. We then need to do some work to transform that from a whole set of source silos into what the business needs. So that's the process. We move it from the ingestion layer, through the curation layer, to the calculation layer, to the consumption layer, and as we go up, we transform it from source silos into business marts. This is what the business, the finance department, the HR department, the operations department actually need. And when we finish this, we will have a fully running data warehouse that's not a one-time thing. If we just left this running, it's now done the full one-time ingestion, it'll now start doing incremental updates. So it won't have to redo this full ingestion, it'll now just start saying every minute or every second or whatever I ask it to do, just pull the new data in. And okay, we've now finished. So let's just check the results here. 100 databases analyzed, 1,400 give or take tables ingested, 14,500 columns ingested, 100% of our business modeling all the way through has been successful. And we've ingested a total of 103.4 million rows. We set ourselves a target of 300 seconds, 5 minutes. We did it in 183 seconds.